I've had the due on sale clause called on me multiple times. I think when people say, oh, due on sale clause doesn't exist, that means they haven't been doing subject to long enough. It's going to happen.
Right.
And nothing you can do will stop it. I get people that go, oh, well, buy it in a land trust and do this. I've done all of the strategies and you still due on sale clause called on you 1 out of maybe 500 houses. Okay. That's kind of the number. What the due on sale clause is let's say that I take over Dave's house, right? So Dave has a Wells Fargo loan on this property. I decide I'm going to go open escrow. I'm going to transfer the deed from Dave's name to Pace's name, but the debt is going to stay in Dave's name. If the bank that Dave's name is on, Wells Fargo, if they see the deed has been transferred, but they didn't get their debt paid off, they have the ability to call the due on sale clause or the acceleration clause where they go, hey, Dave sold the house to Pace, but
yeah, we want our money.
Never got paid.
Yeah.
Right. First and foremost, I'm going to be very blatant and honest here, right? No smoke and mirrors. Most of the time, the bank never notices it. And even when the bank notices it, they don't care. Okay. And I'll give you the instances, the times where I've had the due on sale clause called on me, how we overcome it, all that kind of stuff. The bank goes, oh, wow, they transferred ownership. Pace is now the owner, but Pace's name is nowhere on the debt. We want that paid off. Okay. Well, first and foremost, banks are way too big to care. And even when they do find out, they typically don't. Okay. So let's go to the ones that do care, right? The ones that do care, typically the thing that gets you screwed up on the subject to deal is if you are transferring insurance incorrectly, or if you stop making the payments, obviously they're going to call the due on sale clause, right? So there's a very simple way to overcome the due on sale clause. Okay. Either a lot of people don't know this, you can use, this might even blow you away, Chris. You might never maybe even heard of this. There are companies out there that will provide due on sale clause insurance.
Oh, wow. Like, look at that. Wow. There's a business for everything.
There is a business for everything. So the cost of due on sale clauses insurance is about 1% of the purchase price of the home. So let's say I bought a home for $400,000. There's a company out there that will charge you $4,000 to guarantee that even if the due on sale clause happens to you, they will fix it or they will refinance the house out with their own money. Okay. Now that's great, but that costs money. So a lot of people look at that and go, I don't want to do that. I've had the due on sale clause called on me 5 times, and I'll give you the most common thing is what happens is, let's say somebody's in foreclosure. Okay. Seller's in foreclosure. I come along and I go, hey, let me catch up your payments. And then I want to take over your mortgage and you can move away. Right. So we catch up the payments, we close escrow. I'm now the owner on a property that the debt stays in that seller's name. The seller's now off into the sunset doing his own thing. The bank goes to reinstate the loan in their computer and they go, oh my gosh, they caught up the payments. And then 3 days later, they transfer the ownership to this new guy. And then boom, they call this the due on sale clause because they were in the process of reinstating the loan. Okay.
Yeah.
Very common. So what we typically do is we catch up the payments and then we wait about 10 to 15 days after the loan is reinstated to then close escrow. And then you don't have that problem. But the times that we've made that mistake, I've gotten on the phone with the bank and we go, how would you guys suggest we do this? Now, Chris, this might get into a little bit of the weeds, but it also proves your point from earlier that you really do need people that know what they're doing here, which is why, leveraging my community or leveraging myself will help your community get these types of deals done. I go to the bank and I go, hey, bank, this is Johnson Bank, very small branch. I got a hold of the actual president of the bank, who is the son of the founder of the bank, right? That's how small of a bank this is. And I said, hey, you guys just sent us a letter saying you're calling the note due or calling you're telling me that I owe you the money because we transferred the ownership and that you're going to foreclose on us if we don't pay you. I just caught up this guy's payments. What do you suggest I do? I don't want to lose this money. And the bank says, why don't you, this is where it gets a little hairy, but I'll give you exactly what we did. The bank tells us, why don't you deed the property back to the owner? It'll stop the due on sale clause. And then why don't you just buy it on an agreement for sale? Okay. Agreement for sale is something not a lot of people have never heard of. It's also called a land contract, a contract for deed. Right. there's multiple names for it. And ultimately it's called an executory contract. And guys, I'm purposely not slowing down for you on this one because I want you to know there's a lot of terms that are challenging for a typical wholesaler to even understand this. Okay. So he says, why don't you just buy it back on an executory contract? So you're still the owner, but you don't transfer the deed. Therefore, you're not violating our policy. And I go, amazing. So we deed the property back to the owner. We then write a contract called an agreement for sale in Arizona. And then I take that agreement for sale and I file it against the property at the county recorder's office. So for all intents and purposes, I am the owner. I just don't show a transfer of the deed.
Got it.
And that's how you get around the due on sale clause for anybody that is afraid of it. I've had the due on sale clause called on me 5 times. And all 5 times we've done something similar where we just rearrange the paperwork and we solve the problem.